Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you the initial checkout of a Spirit of St. Louis telephone, and this is Joanne's telephone from New York. And Joanne has a note here. It says, as you can see, the receiver needs repair. I think it's a little past a repair. I think this receiver probably needs to be replaced. And so you won't get any receive out of this. It's as you can see, the analyzer, it's off hook now, but there's no receive. And if you will dial it 2 and make the dial tone go away, and there's no transmit, this light should light every time I tap on this handset. So we know that that's not going to be a repairable item there. We're going to have to replace that. So now we can hit the speakerphone. That seems to work. We're going to end in a 2. I'm going to go ahead and hit flash and redial. Okay. So we know it's doing that. So it's dialing the numbers. But I have a weak transmit here on the microphone, and that's going to have to be troubleshooted. We're going to have to go through the mic circuit and see what's causing that. We know our light is lighting for our speakerphone, and when we take the handset off the hook, so we know our LED is lighting. Now what we can do is ring our bell. Our light is lighting for the bell. Turn the bell off. Turn the bell on. Turn down the bell all the way. Turn it back up. So we know that's all working. This variable, the variable here for the ringer, they somewhat work. It was more of a novelty kind of thing, but they do work a little bit. It does give you some control. Good thing about it is we know the volume control for the speaker works, so that's good. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and unplug it. We're going to have to go through this telephone a little bit. And there's a few things that I want to do. I think this wood's going to clean up. We have a little dent in the speaker here. We can probably straighten that out and clean up this wood a little bit. But what we want to do now is I want to go ahead and take the telephone apart. I want to get a look at this board. I'm going to have to go into the mic circuit anyway, so might as well go ahead and take the telephone apart, and this will be the first time I've seen the inside also. We'll try to get this apart real quick. Sometimes these screws can be a little pesky. Kind of get a look at what's going on here and see if it looks like anybody's ever been into this telephone. Sometimes you can tell and then other times you can't tell. So just want to get a look at what's going on. And this is the initial checkout. We have to go into it anyway, so it's not going to make much difference. Might as well pull the plate. And we got one more to go here. We can get a look at this. Okay. Now what we're finding here is this telephone was probably wet. There's a lot of mold on this telephone. And it's gotten into the telephone. I think this telephone's been in some water and had some water damage. And that's basically what we're going to find here. We're going to find a lot of water damage. So at this point, what we're going to do is try to make a decision. You can see it all over everything. And inside the case, all up along the case, kind of all over. That's probably not a good deal. That's not a good sign. We may be able to get it cleaned up, but then we'd have to go in and clean all of the board, as you can see. So this telephone has been, and now that kind of explains why the mic doesn't work properly, because it's probably taken water on and got wet at some point and then has started to fail. But there's also corrosion on a lot of the board. So this telephone has a lot of issues, and you really don't know what you're going to find until you get into these telephones, basically, is what it comes down to. And you can see it all right there, because this board kind of actually goes on like this. I'm not sure what happened to this telephone, if Joanne knows the history behind it, but we do know one thing. It's been underwater at some point in time, and it didn't do the telephone much good. So this is the initial checkout, and we've had a look at the telephone now. We're going to have to make some decisions about what we're going to do here. And how we're going to handle this. So probably what we want to do is get this telephone put back together somewhat until we can get it outside and clean up everything. Or it may be just a good idea to try to save the board in this one and maybe come up with another case for her, another body. But we'll just have to see how it goes. But working on telephones every day, you just never know what you're going to run into, and these things kind of happen. So we're just going to have to deal with it. We'll talk to Joanne and see what she'd like to do or what her ideals are, and we'll talk it over and see where we're going to go from here. But the whole telephone at some point has been underwater, and you can actually see the warping going on the telephone here. It's warped on the wood, and so this poor telephone has been through some issues, and it's probably possible to save this board and maybe get a different body, like I said earlier, but we'll just have to go from there. So you just never know what you're going to find, and it's just an issue that we're going to have to deal with. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. This is Joanne's telephone, her Spirit of St. Louis telephone from New York, and it's had a little water damage. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.